want to extend the term from 5 to 7 years. In any case, members who elected us, people who elected us, have the power to extend you even 20 years. You can be elected even 5 times. After every 5 years, if you're a good MP, if you're a good senator, if you're a good president, you can be elected twice. Why? What is the panic for? The panic for moving years from 5 to 7 means kuna members of parliament who are not performing. So they want to cover themselves for 2 years extra. We want to tell them, and I will speak this one, that the Honorable Senator of Nandi, who brought in that petition, who brought in the motion of changing of years, and also he must know that that is a constitutional matter. That is a matter that requires referendum. It is not something that has been turned in parliament. The term limit of an MP or a president is determined by the constitution. If they want to change the constitution, let them write a referendum question. And if they write a referendum question, let them be prepared that Kenyans are not for it. As a member of parliament for Kabuchai, I want to believe that there are very, very important things pressing a Kenyan than going for 5 years. You look at SHA now, from NSSF, NHIF to SHA or OSHIF. You see, I don't know it. You see, one, those patients who are treated by NHIF, private hospitals are demanding payment. NHIF is dissolved. They have nobody to take to court. They have debts already. You know, once you dissolve NHIF, it's not prosecutable. You cannot sue it. The chief or SHA has no debt with patients and hospitals. You cannot also not sue chief or SHA. You see, that is the dilemma in which we are. The transition clause was never proper. Look at parents now, look at people now in the hospitals. If you don't pay cash, you are not treated. Get to know, where did we as a government prioritize facts of health? In the first place, we started going wrong. By doing what? By removing Edu-Afya. Edu-Afya was a scheme or the insurance for students in schools. Whenever they could be sick, they could be treated and insurance was paying. Now it's no longer there. Where are the priorities of Kenya? So if you don't prioritize health, if you don't prioritize education, you know CPC has a problem. If you don't prioritize things to do with development and roads, look at the infrastructure. We are going to prioritize impeachment and 7-year term limit. Why was this parliament elected? That's why I say, as a member of parliament, that we are having a misplaced priorities. Maybe we are reading our manifesto upside down. Where did we go wrong? And also, I'm in church today. Church always preaches for forgiveness. It doesn't preach for impeachment. And I've stood with that for all along up to now. I have issues to hold. I don't need to say them out, but Kenyans have a judgment. We have a judgment after 5 years. Let us be careful with what we do in parliament. One MP who died, my uncle Peter Kisuya, one time said, he told me that one time if you'll be in parliament, my uncle, when you make the law in the house, ask yourself a question, that one time you will leave that parliament and be outside, you will face the same law. Is it a good or a bad law? That is what is meant by parliament. Okay? Should we want to privatize everything in Kenya? Why should we privatize everything? You are privatizing airports, you are privatizing Zoya Sugar, you are privatizing Kenya Seed, you want to private KICC, you are talking, what do you want to live? These are things that our younger generation, they want the small kids you see around, they must have for their future. It is a heritage to have KICC. It's our heritage to have Kenya Seed. It's our performance to have our airport. I have seen the best airports in the world performing very well under the leadership of government. Go to Oliver Tambo International Airport, South Africa. It is the best. It's run by South Africa. You see, why do we want to make a contract of 30 years? Even if you give airport 30 years contract to Adani, Adani builds lifts and everything and vehicles and what that last. But remember, there is no vehicle that will last for 30 years. The moment the contract will be expired, everything will be expired. He will have made his money and is going and living at the dilapidated airport. Are we making the airport employable for our boys and girls? Because it's a source of employment. Or you are making it very beautiful for tourists. It's a difference. If you want to make the airport beautiful for tourists and you snatch jobs from our boys, well and good. And I'm happy about Atuoli's statement. Mheshimiwa Atuoli spoke on this matter. It is not going to be as much as we can. Also, I have no problem with Adani. But there are some countries, Adani's contract has been cancelled. And again, if you know very well that Adani is a good guy, why is he coming back through back door? But the mistake also come back to Parliament. I remember I raised my hand high in Parliament when members of Parliament were being told to pass a law that we can privatize parastatals without asking Parliament questions. When I carried up the hand that actually making the law in Kenya to exclude Parliament involvement in the privatization of parastatals, people did not know why. This is now why. You can see now things are being sold without involvement of Parliament. Look at the country is totally out of thinking and in line of look at the new funding model. Students are suffering. A child from a poor welder, Mama Mboga, anawekea kwa band 5. Band 5 is 180,000. You must pay cash. My friends, if that happened to us, would we have gone to universities? I think we have that through all judgments you have seen, you can now know where we are heading. And that's why I say that maybe we are reading our priorities in a reverse way. Wote kwamba hakuna mwanafunzi wa form 4 mwenye register for exam anaenda kosa mtihani kwa sababu ya shida zozote. Maybe anaweza kosa ruler ama akosa geometrical set. Ile tunaweza manage, tunasaidiana as an MP, lakini najua siwezi saidia kila mtu. But I want to thank my MP, my principals of schools, because I've been speaking to them that all kids, all candidates are going to sit for the exam. And I want to give conducive environment for the candidates. Please, teachers, don't overload students with the questions now. It is now time to reflect, refresh, and go to sit for the exam. I've just wished my girls here, Kabuchai girls, a very successful exam, KCSE coming. I've just told them that can the principal look for 2 hours in the school today and then open some radio for them to dance waanguke nayo. After those 2 hours, but let them be free, because it's about the moods. It's about motivation. From there, let them go and take a bath, refresh themselves, and face the exam. Exam is about confidence and what you can remember inside the classroom. Let us not overstarve the kids. We know pressure can lead to kids even striking. But I'm praying for all of them that actually we succeed, because we have the best result. We have had the best results in Kabuchai before.
Kwa hivyo kwa majina ni Wesley Wanjala na Munyu. Mimi ni mkurugenzi wa shule ya Emmanuel na Munyu Memorial High School. Nachukua nafasi hii kwanza kabisa kusema kwa niaba ya wazazi pamoja na walimu ya kwamba muda tulio nao ni mrefu sana. Watoto wanaenda nyumbani kwa sababu ya likizo, na tunaomba ya kwamba wakati watoto wanapoenda nyumbani wakaweze kulindwa na wazazi vizuri, na wazazi wahakikisha kwamba mahali popote ambapo watoto wanaenda lazima wawe na ufahamu, na pia wahakikishe kwamba vikundi ambavyo watoto wanatembea navyo wanavielewa, kwa sababu wakati huu ni mgumu. Watoto wengi wanaweza jiingiza kwa mambo mabaya kama vile madawa ya kulevya na mimba za mapema, lakini kama wazazi watakuwa waangalifu itakuwa vizuri sana. Ningependa kuchukua muda hii pia kushukuru kwa sababu ya wanafunzi ambao wanafanya mitihani ya KCSE na KPSEA ambayo inaanza kesho, ya kwamba kwa hii mitihani tukaweze kuwahimiza watoto wetu wakaendelea kufanya vile walivyokuwa tu wanaendelea kufanya mitihani, na tusiwe na shaka, lakini tuweze kuwahimiza, na pia kama wazazi na pia walimu tuendelee tu kusimama pamoja na hao watoto, na tuhakikishe kwamba wanafanya mitihani kwa njia iliyo nzuri bila kubabaika hapa na pale, kwa sababu ni mitihani tu ya kawaida kama ile nyingine. Usiwe pengine uko na jambo lingine la kufikiria unaweza saidia mtoto wako, kwa sababu kuna wale wazazi wanakimbia hapa na pale wakifikiria kwamba wanaweza saidiwa, pengine wengine hata wanaenda kwa waganga, wengine wanatafuta vitu zingine ambazo hazina maana. Just focus and make sure that your child is doing exam without having a lot of worries.
lakini utaona kwa vitendo na mbarikiwe.